Do y'all feel like being the third option? Let's say someone like a Paul George, Bradley Beal, right?
Yeah.
They were elite scorers at their time in their primes, right? And now they're their third option. They're third option on most teams now.
Right.
Do y'all feel like that being the third option on your team should be valuable or like an option? I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
I got you. It's a big choice, and it can definitely alter your career. But we see some people also make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But in the most recent cases, like I think the last time we kind of seen it work was probably that when KD went to the Warriors, Clay was still hooping. He did his thing. You feel me?
Right.
He was kind of third option. So I think it really depends on the system too. Like for example, when James Harden went to the Clippers, you know what I'm saying, linked up with Kawhi, PG, that was like, okay, you seen James Harden kind of do less, but James can play the point guard role to where he can just distribute. Now, if you're a pure scorer like Bradley Beal and PG, they're not really distributors like that. You know, they don't really run that point position. They can, but that's not what they rather want to do. You know, they get the ball, they shoot up, they probably put up about 15 shots a game, maybe more, and they're gonna get their buck. But when it's less, you're getting less touches because you got D-Book getting 20 shots up, KD getting 20 shots up. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see a struggle either with the team or your career. So, and sooner or later, you're gonna make less and less money. So, like, even with Jimmy Butler, he looking for a big contract. This probably gonna be his last one, though.
Right.
And he was saying Phoenix, but you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a very interesting topic, and I wish I would know how like athletes process that too.
Right.
OG, what you think about it?
I mean, it's kind of like, now the way you said it, it's kind of, really it's up to the person, to be honest with you, man. If, what you kind of want outside of your basketball career, man. If you want to sacrifice, you know, the points and everything for winning, and you need to kind of do the due diligence to know what you're kind of getting into.
Right.
So it's kind of just basically the biggest thing off of that. It's kind of your mindset that kind of sets it. I think for Bradley Beal's situation, I think Bradley Beal's probably kind of frustrated that who's the coach now? Is it
for the Suns?
I don't know who's the coach for the Suns. I ain't gonna lie.
Do a quick little look up real quick.
Yeah, look it real quick. Let me roll because it's kind of slipping me. I know it when you'll say it.
I got you. Suns head coach.
Because I feel like it's
Well, you know Frank Vogel at Atlanta now. So
is it Budenholzer? Is it?
Might be Budenholzer.
Yeah, I think it's Mike Budenholzer. Yeah, it's Budenholzer right now.
Yeah, I think when Bradley Beal's kind of looking for it in Budenholzer's offense, because Bradley Beal ain't got no problem having like the ball in his hands, because y'all saw how he played with Westbrook, right?
Right.
Because he was looking for like the system where he can do his. All right, Russ is running whatever action they got on this side. Where's the system at where I make the backdoor cuts? I'm flashing off like screens or whatnot. I think that's what Bradley Beal is looking for too, man. The worst is just kind of like, your turn, my turn basketball, and we'll figure out as it goes with this freelance. I think that's what Bradley Beal's kind of struggling with. And I think once they kind of figure it out, they'll be all right. It looks like Phoenix is on the cusp of making a run, man. They picked up your center from the
Nick
Hornets.
Richards, man, I was kind of sad to see him go because he was hooping, bro.
Yeah, now you got
him and Mark Williams was that little 1-2 punch, man. You know what I'm saying? But dang, it's I'm good. I'm happy for him. You know what I'm saying? His development, and hopefully he thrives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, now you got used to Nurkic stuff too.
Yeah, we got a little Nurk Dirk. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool with me.
I'll say this too, like it feels like this with Russell Westbrook. Like you can look at him and you can be like, he's still a number 2.
Yeah,
or he could be a number 3 if Jamal is playing, right?
See, that's one thing. Westbrook, he makes it work wherever he goes. I'm trying to think which team he was probably the worst with.
The Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers for sure.
Yeah, the Lakers probably, for sure. But everywhere else, he does what he has to do. You know what I'm saying? And it was actually very surprising for me to kind of see him thrive with the Nuggets. But I was like, it makes sense. It kind of makes sense, especially when they had him off the bench at one point. I was like, okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
I was excited too, because I said, man, all Russ got to do is just run the floor, and then he'll get the ball in his hands. It's like there's a lot of two-man shit that we could have seen that we knew that Russ and Jokic was going to do.
Exactly.
So
And I
not
think,
surprised.
Oh yeah,
not surprised
for sure. And like I feel like, so when it goes back to the third option choice, these superstars, they look okay. I've been producing. I've been averaging 20 for the past 4 seasons. Blah blah blah. 20 or more for the past 4 seasons, but I can't get far. I can't get a championship, and I feel like they want that championship. So when they see, okay, you know, that superstar team up, it's like, okay, if I go here, I really look good to get a championship. Until they get there, and it's like the play styles is, you know, so much different. The person can be great, you know what I'm saying, like great person, everything, but you know the play styles can be so much different. And I was watching the 520 podcast with Jeff T. Man, I've been in love with that podcast lately. Shout out to them. But and they was interviewing Dame, and he was just like, yeah, just really like getting adjusted, because he was like, Giannis and Chris was that 1 and 2. You feel me? So he was like, he know he can be the one, but he also had to fit their play styles too. You know what I'm saying? So he said it really took him a whole season to really get comfortable. That's why y'all see Dame kind of get more adjusted to it. But I was like, that's pretty interesting to look at too.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some blame on the coaches too, because my thing is, like, I don't know what it seems like. There's no direction when it comes to the GM and the coach when they get these big 3 teams, man. Yeah. And like there's a system already in place that already says that, hey, when Bradley Beal and KD come here for free agency, this is what we picture the offense being booked. Right. You know, that's the player that's basically getting the help and still young within his career. So it's just kind of like me. I don't know. Maybe that, but you know, that's my problem with the whole NBA in general. It's like a lot of lazy ass coaching, because you can only convince me so much about, well, you know, the new players just don't know how to run these old systems like we used to do in basketball. Or it's your job as a coach to finish up where they.
It's your job to discipline that into the players. You know what I'm saying? And I even think I like the situation with Wemby. I feel like the Spurs, they still run that system, that low-key old school system. But, you know, you let Wemby cook every now and then. You let him do his thing every now and then because he can. But, you know, he also fits into it. The defensive scheme he fits into greatly. I mean, he's a freak of nature, so that works. Yeah. But
and then you got a vet like Chris Paul that's always going to be on your ass anyway. Exactly. Man, you know, say Wemby having like one of them shoddy nights at the 3-point line. Yeah, Chris Paul going to be the one to straight up tell you, hey man, get your big ass down there, see you start.
You're 7. How tall is 7?
7'3".
7'3" above. Something like that. Yeah. Get down there. Hook shot, easy work. Come on.
Yeah, work your way up.
They can bump you all they want. We know you might be a little lighter, but you got the wingspan of a darn bro. Like
I was about to say, the thing is too, like they can't really defend you, so that's gonna cause more fouls anyway.
Exactly.
You know, that free throw line. Get to that free throw line.
It's okay to win off that, honestly. Unless you're Jalen Brunson, he annoys me. I'm sorry.
Get the 3 the hard way.
Yeah, get the 3 the hard way.
What you think, D? What's your like, if you have like a player you kind of want to compare to the situation that you done seen kind of have success or fail?
Like I said, like Westbrook. Like I said, you know, he was in LA. He was a third option. Yeah. He didn't really get much time. They tried to run so many different schemes with Westbrook that was not like for him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for him to go to Denver or LA and have some of those games where he was doing his thing, but still was able to facilitate and actually be playing the best basketball they can, you know, it's helped him out. So for him to go to Denver, where he has Jokic, where he has Murray, his benches might not be that good, but he has, you know, he's the leader of that bench, right? And for him to have those games consistently, because he's averaging, I believe, like 16.
Yeah,
either 16 or 17. And people thought he was washed. You know what I'm saying?
I tell him this. My GOAT is never washed, bro. Stop that, bro.
Yeah, so like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it just depends on the system. Sometimes coaching just doesn't help out, you know, with the situation, because when Darvin Ham was putting him in those systems, you see it did not work at all. When Tyronn Lue was putting him in those systems, it was not adjusting the way that he wanted to. So when him going to Mike Malone and, like I said, having Jokic and Murray, it helps him out so much. As if like Paul George or Bradley Beal, you know, you got some players getting hurt left and right. KD sometimes not in those games. Embiid's not always in those games.
Oh boy, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when Paul George is out there just playing center, having to play center or having to work hard, you know,
But one Murray been hurt too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Murray has been hurt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So I think Russ been seeing a little more minutes. I think him and Russ.
Yeah.
As I said, Russ been seeing more minutes, so it's just him and Jokic just kind of just playing basketball.
Yeah.
I think the Sixers situation, I think Paul George situation is kind of different because it's just like, one, you was coming in there as the third option, man. I mean,
Yes.
you're 34.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, the Sixers already knew it was going to be that Embiid's liable to get hurt, so you got Drummond, being your backup center. But I mean, you asked I don't know how old Drummond is, probably 32 by now, but you asked him to play like 28 to 30, 32 minutes. Yeah, eventually he was going to get hurt eventually.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, I think Paul George just said he was a little bit bored kind of guarding the fives. Guarding the fives out here because it's just like, the fives don't really do nothing. That's what Paul George saying. It's like, they'll just like sit in the corner and wait for the dump off.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess.
That's true. Now, this was a good mention also in the 520 podcast. They said Kevin Love. That was a good example of a person going to that third option.
Yeah.
And he did okay for a little while, but you just seen it slowly declining. Like Minnesota,
Yeah, Minnesota.
Kevin Love was on
different.
pace.
He was on different. He was
on
different.
pace to be taught with Kevin Garnett up there. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then once he went to the Cavaliers, it was like he kind of accepted that third option.
Yeah,
but,
Kyrie, LeBron.
yeah. I mean, he got him a championship though,
Got him a
so
championship out of that.
can't say too much. But
And he learned.
Yeah.
He learned too.
Yeah.
Plus, he lost all that weight. He lost.
He did. Yeah.
The first year was a struggle for K Love, but then lost all that weight. Figured it out.
So that was kind of like an up down. Like some positives, some negatives. Because now, what K-Love doing? You feel me?
So you could kind of say the same. You could kind of say the same for Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kind of say the same thing for Chris Bosh.
He was thriving though. I think he was a key piece. Like you take away Chris Bosh, I feel like it's a little harder for that Miami team to really flourish as much as they did. But I mean, Chris Bosh was one of those. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Y'all saw him y'all seen him at Toronto.
Oh yeah, Chris Bosh was a problem.
Yeah, he was a problem.
He was a problem.
But saying some of his talent, of course injuries play a part of it too, but like some of his talent with D Wade and then LeBron coming in, it's like you gonna have to be a third option anyway. So
he made it work because as OG said, these older systems, players were so disciplined to it, and they say the young guys can't really get into it in our age, but back then it was like cake work. You feel me? Okay, I work my spot right here. I do what I got to. When Braun dump it off to me, when Wade dump it off to me, I do my thing. I play defense. You feel me? I get back and play D.
I'm still gonna get you quality scoring. I may not average as much as I was, but I'll still give you some scoring for real.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people kind of get caught up with scoring and impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just like Charles Barkley talked about it. They used to call them dudes that score so much on a sorry team, man. Like studio, they call them studio gangsters.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I mean, you can score all the empty points you want, man. But it's just like, you scoring whatever you scoring your little 24 to 30, but we blowing you out by like 18.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. For sure.
Exactly.
Well, we about to get into the next topic.